Okay, I'm gonna do, hi. I have my thing set up so you can only see me. I'm half in regular clothes and half in pajamas. It's fine. So I'm gonna do a quick little gnome how I've been doing them just so I can share. I have 2 pieces cut. They're about 4 by 7. I did not measure before. This is gonna be the body and this is gonna be the hat. So I found a stretchy material for the body. I felt like it just is more forgiving when you stuff it, so you can kind of, I don't know, do whatever you wish with it. So it's 4 by 7 but folded in half. So you want to fold your fabric in half and cut. I mean, you could cut it smaller to make a smaller gnome or bigger or vice, whatever you want. So to make it easier so you don't have to glue, you only have one seam is why I fold it in half. So you're going to unfold. Actually, you know what, I've sewn all mine. This is my first time doing one glued, so bear with me because I just know that most people don't sew. So you're gonna do it inside out so that your seam is on the inside. And then you're gonna take hot glue. That's this awesome sound. And you're gonna just do a strip of hot glue. Somebody said there's like fabric hot glue. I've never heard of such thing. I've only ever been privileged to regular hot glue. So okay, so that's done. And then the first couple that I've made, I just hot glued the seam on the bottom, but you're gonna have like corners. So to avoid that, what I did is I took this little ribbon and what is this, yarn, just kind of bunched the bottom. So if you use like a sock, you wouldn't have to do this because you would have, the toe of the sock. But you could use an old t-shirt to get this kind of jersey knit material. You could use anything. I mean, you could use just regular fabric. I'm sure it'd be fine. I just haven't done that yet because I have this fabric. So I've noticed that you don't really see the fabric with the gnomes. Okay, so since we're going to be putting rice, you could use rock, you could use beads, anything heavy. On my other ones, so this little knot that I tied, I just kind of opened it a little bit and just put some hot glue in here just to kind of seal up that hole. So if any rice tries to spill out, it won't. So I'm flipping it inside out. So see, if you had like a sock, it'd be just like that. So I'm gonna fill this with some rice. I literally did not buy a single thing for this. It's everything I had at my house. My husband's gonna come home and be like, where did our rice go? It's okay. This is important things right now. Okay, so I'm just gonna fill, I probably put too much in that. But you just wanna fill a little bit just to have like weight at the bottom. And I feel like I put a little too much in here. This is life of a crafter. Let me just grab a random cup, dump some out. Okay, this is a cute cup, right? Side note. So I don't know, how much do I have in here? You just want a good base, maybe 1/4 of a cup. So then what you're gonna do is I have this like polyfill stuff. It's just stuffing. You could open an old pillow. You could get an old pillow at the Goodwill. I try to like pull off little pieces so you don't have just one big glob. It's a little bit easier to work with if you kind of rip it apart a little bit. So you're gonna put that in there to fill it a little bit of the rest of the way. I mean, you don't want to go all the way to the top, but you want to have more fill in there than just all rice. I'm sure you could do all rice. So I want my seam to be in the back, so I'm gonna work on the front, kind of creating like more of the shape I want in the front. So this is kind of the part that takes the longest because you're messing with shape and you don't want it to be all lumpy and funny looking. So, but a lot of this is covered by the beard and the hat, so it's not a huge deal how the body looks, in my opinion. So now I'm just gonna do the same at the top, tie a little knot. We're not gonna worry about gluing it or anything like that. Just make sure you get it all tied. So this is essentially your body. So this is what a 4x7 body looks like. So I cut the same size fabric for the hat. It's the same thing. It's folded in half. I think it's folded in half differently. You just want 2 pieces. And I don't measure to cut this triangle perfectly at all because I feel like the more kind of misshapen it is, it just gives it a little bit more character. Like you don't, unless you want like a perfect triangle, you know, sticking on the top, but that's totally up to you. So I don't do any special measuring. So I'm just gonna cut it, and then we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna flip these inside out. Oh, it's stuck together. That's not supposed to happen. You wanna cut that off because you don't wanna fold it down. You want the right sides together. So when you flip it, it's, you have the pretty side showing. So for this guy, I'm gonna just do one side at a time because hot glue does dry pretty quickly, and it'll just be a little bit easier. And again, this doesn't have to be completely perfect. We're making gnomes here. So then just unfold it, and then the same thing, you're just gonna run a little bead of glue. I've seen like online that there's patterns you can buy, and I almost bought one, but I was like, no. I'm making a gnome and I just want it to be unique and different. And so if you see any like, you know, overlapping, the main part that you want to trim is kind of the point at the top, because when you flip it inside out, you just want to make sure that that has a good point on it. So I usually take scissors or back of a, I lost my seam. Back of a paintbrush. Hold on. We're coming apart here. I did not wait for my glue to get super hot. That's another thing you might want to do. It's okay, it's fixable. Apparently I need to try this fabric hot glue because that could be a game changer. Did I come apart somewhere else? So typically I would just, what I've been doing is using my serger. If you have a serger or a sewing machine, you can just run one stitch down, and that's super quick and simple. But I know a lot of people don't have sewing machines, so that's why I'm kind of trying to do this guy without one. Okay, so when you flip this, just be gentle because it's glue. It's not, learn from my mistakes. It's not sewn. And you might want to wait for it to dry a little bit more than I'm waiting for it to dry. Okay, so I just take my scissors. You want to be gentle because you don't want to, you know, obviously poke a big hole in your fabric. Hello. This is just a little bit more tricky because the hot glue makes it a little thicker. It did come apart right here, but I'm just gonna fold it in and try to mend it with my hot glue without having to flip it back inside out because I don't really want to do that. And then you can put like a little palm on here or something, like if you don't love how the point is on the top or whatever. So I think it's definitely easier to sew the hat than to try to glue it, but it's doable. Also, I think it makes a difference on the type of fabric you use. So the point of this one is not the best. I am rushing slightly here to get a video for you guys. So yeah, you can just take your time with it. Don't be like me. Go slowly. But since it's not the best, I'm just gonna add something to the point. Like I could even tie a little bow on there. It'd be cute. So I'm not, it's always fixable, you know? You can always fix things and it's not, nothing to stress about. So I'm gonna get some more of this fluff And I'm just gonna shove it in there. I'm just gonna do a little bit at the top. I think I'm gonna do a little bow on this one, that'd be cute. You can iron this out because cotton tends to wrinkle pretty quickly on you. So if you don't love the look, you know, you can just iron it out before you stick it on your little guy. So now we're gonna do, so here's gonna be kind of, so then you're gonna kind of shove this in here, but not yet. So here's kind of the look of him, that we can roll his little hat up. This is not sticking for me. This is why I don't go live. I mean, I know I can repair things and do this, but I would leave more of a seam. I think that's what I'm learning here. Like, don't do it so close to the edge. Okay. It's gonna be okay. So now we're gonna do the beard. Let's see. So I'm just using this yarn that I had here, and all I did is I took like 3 of my fingers and I just kind of started wrapping it around, and I just did it, I don't know, 10 or so times, however many you think. The more you do, the bigger the beard you're gonna get. But, and then I just cut it. I take the yarn again, I'm gonna put it back through here, and I'm just gonna tie a knot really tight. And I'm gonna trim it. I hope I'm not going too fast for anyone. This is just a hanging string, so I'm gonna cut it the same length as my loops. And then I'm gonna put my scissors through the loops and I'm just gonna cut them. So now we have this little friend. So we're gonna glue him on here somewhere. And then we're gonna put our hat on and then our nose, and that's it. It's so simple. So let's see. There's a loop that didn't get cut. So I'm gonna make sure my seam's in the back. I'm just gonna look here, and then I kind of do it up high. I want my beard to not touch completely, but I do want it to touch, or you know, be long enough that it's pretty low. But I don't want it to be like dragging on the, can you see that? Here. So I just did a dab of hot glue and glued it on. So here's my thumb at the bottom, I guess. There's like a thumb gap. So this is why I say the body, I mean, at least how I'm doing these little beards, they're pretty thick. You can buy, what is it? The fabric that's like furry that looks like this, but it's kind of expensive, and I just had this on hand, so you know what? I'm using what I have. And I thought it was pretty cute. So this hat. So you can see how we have these kind of raw edges. So you can leave it raw and you can kind of make it more of a raw edge, or you can turn it in if you want to make it more of a pretty edge, and you can hot glue that in as well. And let's see, so you just kind of, I'm trying to think what edge I kind of want on this. I guess I can try it both and give you both looks. So I would probably do this a little bit wider next time, the hat at the base. So keep that in mind. Like I said, I've never measured any of these that I've made, so I've just gone with it, and if it doesn't work, I just make another one really quick. I'm like, it's fine. So, and then I just kind of work with the hat a little bit. You can glue the hat down. I mean, we're not gonna be like, oh, I guess I'm a little backwards or sideways. We're not gonna be like playing with these, or my kids aren't really gonna be playing with them, but if you think they're gonna be, you know, played with and stuff like that, you can glue it down. So I want my hat to bend. I like that look. So I probably will glue it. I'm gonna tie a little bow on here, like I said, just for an added fun. I don't know if that's weird that his bow, his, I don't know. Are they boys? Are they just gnomes? But whoever this is, they are gonna have a matching bow to their beard. So I'm wondering if it's not bending correctly because I have too much fabric in here. So I just put a little bit more hot glue in that one, and I'm kind of pinching it sideways. I don't know if that'll help me. So I just kind of shove up the fabric inside the little hat, and then yeah, you want it to you could probably glue it so it bends a little bit more. We need a wider hat, but it's okay. It's hard doing that. I'm like trying to look into the camera at you guys. So I'm wondering if I could, I think I'm gonna glue it down. So I'm gonna bend it and just make a little glue spot right here. Again, completely personal preference of how you want it to look, but that's kind of how I craft. I just say, hey, this is what I want it to look like, and I just kind of go with how I like it to look. And it's not, like I said, it doesn't need to be perfect. Glue takes a second to stick. I need to research this hot glue that I'm hearing about. Okay, cute. Okay, it's coming out cuter than I was worried there for a second. Okay, so now we got our main guy. And so I have these wood beads that I've just had forever, and I just grabbed one of those, and that's what I've been using for the little nose. So I put the bead hole at the top and the bottom so you can't see it. So you want it to kind of go under your hat a little bit. So pick up your hat, put some glue on it. What else have I seen people use? Clay, just like wood, they have like just wood rounds. They aren't beads, but these are pretty inexpensive and you can get them really anywhere. Okay, so then we want to adjust her hat slightly over her nose. Okay, how cute. It turned out cute. Might trim up this bow slightly, but if you want to, you can go back and trim out your beard if you don't love, you know, how it lays. And once you have him situated, or her, you can fix, you know, whatever's dangling or you don't like, you know, these. So cute, huh? Okay, and then my seam, you can see in the back, it's definitely not centered in the back. I would make more effort. But like I said, I'm doing this as quickly as possible to make a video on it. But yeah, it turned out super cute, and it will go well with my little Valentine family. And then I found buttons, so you know, I was adding a little button here, or you could put it up here. I mean, there's so many things you could do with these. So there's my quick little gnome tutorial. Like I said, if I was to do this again, I did not measure before, I would do this probably an inch wider. So the hat, I would say 5 inches by 7 inches instead of 4 by 7. Body 4 by 7, hat 5 by 7. And if you want to go bigger, just add an inch to your width of your hat. I think it'll just be a little bit easier. So I hope that helps. Have fun making some gnomes.